Hey everybody, welcome back to Edgington, the city on the edge here in the wonderful 0.52 version of Timber and Stone. We really need to build some more of these tile roofs, don't we? How many do we have, out of curiosity? Shingles 2, we have 0, apparently. Okay, they look more like shingles 3 in this light, but that's probably just the light. It says wood. I'm presuming it means wood planks, because that's the one that's at 3 here, so let's make another 50 to that. So we can make some more of this. There. So, from the looks of things over here, you would assume that we had a fairly quiet night. Is that ever really the case here in Edgington? Because over here, we still have one spider whom I need to murder, and that's okay, but over here we have a campfire that wasn't there because we have goblins, and then over here we have what's left of a warg rider, and we have a whole ton of wolves that then decided this was an opportune time to show up by themselves as well. So just bleh. It was a rough evening, suffice to say. Yeesh. But it is dawn now, it is day 50, we have no current, at least as far as I can tell, pressing threats or worries. I think we're doing okay. I think we'll be alright. How many brick free do we have, out of curiosity? We've got some cobblestone. Brick free we have none, add 50. And let's move that to the top for our stonemasons. Okay, right. I think we've still got some decent... maybe not decent for very long, but decent nonetheless. Mining. Yep, laid out. Good. And we've got tools for them. We've got iron coming in, so we can make some tools out of that if we wanted to. All of our roads have their supplies and as such. Hello, Margaret. What do you... Oh, and there's presumably Sawtooth over here. Next person I think needs to be another forager, because clearly we need the other forager to get through everything. I think that's just the way this is going to go. Oh, stone tongs have broken. How many do we have? 10. Okay, we should be good. I will put some iron tongs on the list, though. Just for when you, free to get around to them. But our workers are busily working away, so people who might be new to this series might not immediately get that this is a fairly laid-back kind of show where I usually just keep an eye on my little ant farm here, and I talk about some prescient subject which isn't politics, which admittedly is getting rarer these days. And today, I thought I would talk about zombies. Because if you're new to the channel, and whether or not you're new to the channel, you might just have recently resubscribed because YouTube is a dick. But you might not know that I'm a massive horror nerd. Particularly, I'm a huge fan of George Romero's library of work. And zombies feature quite heavily in that. They're not the only thing he's done. Not the only thing. But they are the most commonly recognized thing that he's done. And zombies have a very long, illustrious history, almost, inside of cinema and such. So they're kind of an important thing to discuss every now and then. And in particular, I noticed that in this particular game, skeletons, like our two that are stuck underground here, fulfill basically the function of zombies. And yeah, that's a spider. I'm not worried for you, Sawtooth, at all. Skeletons fulfill basically the function of zombies in most games, in Timber and Stone. So what we would normally expect is for that role to be zombies rather than skeletons. Skeletons tend to, more often than not, I think... Can you just come over here and wreck that thing? More often than not, take on the role of an archer, a ranged creature. Occasionally they'll take on the same similar roles as zombies, but they'll have like special resistances because they don't have flesh, and they don't need to consume and all sorts of other things. Come on, Saw, I know you can do it. There we go, done. Gather. Ooh, house pickaxe is broken. Okay, well it's fine, we have plenty of stone ones. But here they are wholesale taking the roles of zombies. They occasionally have some kind of equipment on them, but it's not terribly much. How we go down this? Because you're still on iron ingots, I notice. Still more to go, but we don't have the materials for them. Presumably because we're out of iron, so let's just remove that from the queue. Hooray! And you've got your iron tongs done. Good. How much iron do we have now? 13. Wow, that's nice. Although I think bronze is still a better material than iron on the whole, so we kind of only really want, we really only want to be saving that for steel. Speaking of, Luna, where is Luna? There you are. Okay, Luna, what level are you? You are level 15. Let's chance trying to put together some steel then. Give you 3 of those. Let's see what you can come up with. Iron tongs are broken already, really? Blimey. Okay, fine. Iron tongs. Move that up on the list. Ugh. And how are we on the shingles? Can't make any shingles because we're out of wood planks, apparently. Or the wrong wood planks? Apparently it means wood planks 2. Fine. Also, Marino's leveled up. Congrats. Hey. Okay, remove that from the queue. This up. Hopefully then we get to it. This is the problem when you, like, truncate things like that. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. I'm still keeping an eye out for any new visitors, because we are still at very high food. So it's entirely possible we'll get somebody new. But, meanwhile, I think we're doing okay here. There's just a wolf in the way. Have I marked you to be gathered? I don't know that I have, so I will. Just to be on the certain. And we should also mark all of these fine fellows. Oh, just so much work last night. Criminy. And a U. Okay, there we go. Oh, and that's the iron tongs successfully crafted, so we're now back to steel. Did we manage to make that piece of steel? We did! Okay, that might be a good sign. We'll find out as we craft more of it. Steel is the top tier of resource. It is not the top tier of harvestable resource. The top tier on that level is gold and mithril and such. But we can only mine that once we have steel tools, and we can't use it for anything. It's a wealth item only. That is its sheer and only purpose. Oh, did I mark that? Yeah, apparently I already did mark that as removed. There we go. Animal hair, animal fat, animal hide. Hooray. Failed at crafting it, lost some resources of 1 iron. Well, it costs 2 to make, so that's still decent at least, I guess. So I'm pleased over there. What do I want? I want leather. Let's add 10 of that to there. There we go. Because we need to turn the hide into leather to make the tunics. Level 10 minor Blair, hooray! That everybody uses for actual armor. Oh, and level 14 stonemason. Everybody is getting a promotion today, hooray! But zombies are... they're a fascinating creature on the whole, because on their own, they're... disturbing, I guess. They're a mockery of human life, in a sense, and that can lead them to being this kind of deaf laughing back at you kind of sign. But they are chiefly considered in large groups, the typical horde of zombies. So we get like 6, maybe a few more skeletons in a given bundle of them. But by and large, we don't really see horde-like behavior or numbers inside this game. But zombies are known for appearing in crowds of like dozen or 20 or 50 or thousands, that kind of thing. Hundreds, that kind of scale. And then they become an alternative entity in and of themselves, in that they are typically unintelligent, so they follow the curve of the natural terrain. They go down the path of least resistance, usually the lowest point. They follow the simplest of stimuli, such as a flashing light or a sound that they hear in their environment. And most of the time, they don't really have a sense of direction or purpose. They just are doing these things, and when they see humans, they start to do actually meaningful stuff. Occasionally animals as well, but it's usually just humans. And this renders them a whole different kind of enemy, because then they're almost a force of nature. Because then you can't really, like, you strike one down, two more take its place, that kind of thing. They don't really respond to traditional violence in that regard, whereas your typical singular zombie is completely puny, no meaningful threat whatsoever. And that is a fascinating pseudo-metamorphosis when it comes to monsters, because generally speaking, when you put a whole ton of the same kind of monster together, what they become is just the same monster but larger. Who are you? I'm you, but more numerous. But zombies become a sort of wave of force, a sort of mass that's just threatening to tear down barriers that otherwise would have worked just fine, whereas a single, thing of garlic is enough to repel any number of vampires, as long as it stays fresh. So that is a strange property of zombies, in that their numbers are a significant value. Their capacity to unwittingly band together makes them more dangerous in that regard than many other kinds of monster. And that then leads them as well, their unwitting nature, to band together and to be this nigh unstoppable force. That brings them to be a very popular option as a allegory for social groups. Be they regular people, be they capitalists, be they consumers, all sorts. In that, enough of them together and they become unopposable. And this has been used both for positives and negatives, so you will get people using them as an allegory for the mindless consumer, or various other things. Okay, we want a road covering that. Very slowly we are going to reach over there. Do we have more brick free on the build? No, we do not. Let's add more. Make it a bunch, because we have plenty of raw stone and we could do with getting rid of it. Thankfully, it only uses one dirt for each time we do that. Dirt and stone are actually limited resources in the world. Vast, but limited. Can I get rid of this? I don't think I can. Gonna have to create another one somewhere. Or I could just leave it there. It's not a huge concern if I lose that stone. Except that it will then put me at my limit, so that will freeze our mining operation down here. I really need to clean up this torched earth here, don't I? Well, Cam is now 7 carpenter, right? Still no sign of any newbies. Well, maybe someday. Hey. And then there's also the fact of, not everything that is called a zombie is a zombie. George Romero certainly typified the sort, but he didn't infinitely codify it, in that it is different things to different people. So there was a legendary dispute over the intellectual property of Night of the Living Dead, the original Romero movie that we know today. And it resulted in a fracturing of the team that created it. So Romero went off and did his Of the Dead series, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, all sorts of other things after that. And then these other properties came up, which was Return of the Living Dead. These Of the Living Dead movies then started to crop up. And by popular opinion, they are terrible. And certainly by critical opinion, they are terrible. But the zombies in there differ significantly and markedly. How are we doing? Okay, are we not building any of this? Do we have those shingles yet? We are building the shingles. Okay. Good. We have a back supply, it's just all of our builders are out here. But hey, we're working on it. I want this roof up and done. People should be able to sleep with a roof over their heads. Come on. Even if that is just supposed to be the temporary lodging section. But it'll help. It'll help. So the zombies in Romero's movies, initially they'll eat anything. In a lot of interpretations, they will only eat humans, for reasons unknown. But in Night of the Living Dead, they are shown eating mice, eating insects. It's never quite clear if they'll eat each other. Zombies do seem to have some degree of sense of species, to the point where they will not try and eat one another. But exceptions undoubtedly exist somewhere. I'm just not necessarily fully aware of them. How are we doing on our stone tools here? A little bit low, but we should be okay. We should be okay. But then the zombies inside of Night of the Living... No, inside of Return of the Living Dead series, are after one very specific thing. They are after brains. This is what they chant out. This is where we get the zombies going, brains, and that such. Which is odd, because far and away the better series, critically and commercially, is the Of the Dead series, where they usually don't do much more than groan. Very strange in that regard. What are you doing? Where are you off to? Apparently I missed a wolf. You've just decided that's the best place to start, apparently. Okay. Gather resources, gather resources, gather resources, please. Just right behind the wolf. Okay. Fine. Where is Saw? Saw is on his way up. Okay, good. Whenever I want to mark these guys for harvesting as well. Okay. Oh. Ideally we need to make some kind of way of accelerating stonemasonry. I don't know that we have one. I don't know what route we could take to do so. Is there anything the Luna to be doing? Let's add an iron. Let's add 4 tin. Let's make that 4 copper as well. And other than that, I think we're good. Phew. So yeah, for some reason, the less successful series created this enduring stereotype of the brain-groaning zombie. It's very strange in that regard. But, yeah. In Of the Dead, they are initially seen eating basically anything that moves. In the later ones, they seem to sort of ignore them more often. In the remake of Dawn of the Dead, they completely ignore the dog that's just running through the crowds. And then in Of the Living Dead, there's an initial change, which is that they are sentient. They're awake, they're conscious, and they're able to communicate. And they describe the reason that they eat brains is because it temporarily... how do I put this one? Sedates, prolongs... reduces, I guess, the pain of being dead. And they have a whole conversation with this thing, just while it's strapped to a gurney. Kind of remarkable in that regard. We should be seeing midday fairly soon, so end of the episode. So let me get to the end of my points here. So yeah, zombies have become saturated in popular culture. It's very easy to do zombies, so a lot of people did zombies, but it's very difficult to get them right. It's very easy to do zombies well, but it's very easy to do zombies. Let's just build a builder's cart over here, so you guys don't have to wander quite so far. How are we doing over here? Still getting rid of bodies? We got rid of those bodies at least, so there's that. I don't seem to have any new ones coming around, so hey, that's good. So there's... I guess they sort of became the B-movie monster of choice after a while. Zombies got kind of messed over in that regard. And after that, people stopped doing them because by then they were cliché. They were obvious. We all knew exactly what's going to happen because it's a zombie, so it'll eat your flesh. It's dead. It may or may not reanimate people bitten by them specifically, or all sorts of... On and on and on. Very recently, we've had movies that have made zombies palatable, might be the phrase here, again, but still, they're very much the same makeup. It'd be interesting to try and see how people try to reinvent the zombie. And there have been some instances where people have had zombie-like creatures. So, for example, I think it was the movie Cell that was based on a Stephen King property, where it was a phone signal that zombified you. Which, heavy-handed stab at millennials as you can get, but, you know, Stephen King isn't a young man. Okay, we can definitely deconstruct that. Okay, that should make it easier, and you've got some food supply there as well. So, we're losing a lot of tools today. And we're already through those craftings. Jeez, thanks, Luna. Okay, well, I guess keep trying with the steel. We don't have a use for iron especially, so go ahead. Maybe we'll get some newer tools for you out of that. Although we can't make steel tongs, so... Just comes in that regard. But steel armor and equipment would make our troops, I think, slower. Let's take a look. Steel. That's not helping me. Steel. Steel. Nope. I'm not seeing a weight in these. But I know that weapons or something around here usually has a weight. Oh, little 11 fishermen. Hooray. But we're currently using bronze glaives on everybody. We want to be using steel halberds because those are going to hurt. Let's put 3 on that list in that regard. Armor is sort of ideally the thing you want to be upgrading first, but you can see it's quite a bit more expensive than weaponry. So we want to be upgrading the things that we can upgrade as we can upgrade them. Oh, steel great helm requires a bit of bronze. That's interesting. I wonder why that is. Well, their models shouldn't change regardless of whatever we put on them. Do we still have brick free going in? Yes, we do. Okay. In fact, we're nearly done on the shingles. Just because nobody's been around here to actually deal with it. We don't appear to have anything going on. I think over there it's just chickens. Which we could do wrangling in, but for now. Yeah. Failed at crafting steel. Yeah, we're working on it. Level 15 is, I would say, a decent minimum to start trying to craft steel, but even level 20s will fail that occasionally. But anyways, it is midday, so hope you enjoyed my little ramble about zombies. Definitely, I think zombies are a worthwhile investigation, especially if you're getting into horror movies, because zombies are always a great, they're a great litmus test. But I can chat about that more next time, if need be. So, with that in mind, I hope you've enjoyed. This is Edgington. I've been lying, and I shall catch you all next time.